Their relenting effort pushed and strive them to the best position. They sit atop the highest podium and look down on us as if we were mere ants in comparison to a king. To that we must stop the threat, no matter the circumstance. No matter if they gain a small fraction of the power as a result. No matter if they come to see us as an enemy for disrupting their plans. Though there are many forms of creature removal in Commander, none come close to the efficiency of the cards we will be talking about today, with those being Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exile. With us talking about two different cards, let's first review the similarities between them. Both are 1 white mana for an instant that can exile a creature. However, we start to get a bit different with Swords to Plowshare reading Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. And Path to Exile reading Exile target creature. Its controller may search the library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Both Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exile have similar functions, and that is to get rid of the most threatening creatures. Their low cost effectiveness is unrivaled, as not only do we get rid of the creature, but it also exiles it, making sure that we will never have to deal with them again. Though both cards have different downsides, neither is all too terrible. Swords is a fine setback, as the opponent gaining life already will have a high life total to begin with, especially in Commander. Path has a little bit more of a questionable drawback, with it letting an opponent get a land, but typically getting rid of a threatening creature is much more worth the deal. One major point of notice is that these cards are capable of dealing with creatures with indestructible. Typically these creatures can run amok through combat, as they can either be a permanent attacker or a blocker, but these two cards break down those walls with ease. Swords and Path can also be great to hold back to the last second, as they can really mess with opponents' combat steps, with opponents usually attacking for exact amounts to try and conserve resources for other players. With this, we can typically buy maybe another turn should they not have enough resources outside of combat to take us out of the game. Though these effects can be used to gain some value by exiling our own creatures, we typically never want to take this route. This is because of lost value and opportunity, from both losing an exile effect as well as one of our own creatures. However, if we are pushed into a position where we need to, Swords to Plowshare can give us some life should someone be targeting us with a burn or drain effect. Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exile can, and more than likely should, be played in any deck that runs white. However, strategies that don't have a lot of creatures for blocking might value these cards much more. Archetypes like Spellslinger and Voltron would definitely love these cards, as their ability to deal with large threatening creatures has to come from other sources other than their creatures. Aggro strategies would also like these cards, as it can easily thin down board states and allow creatures to better crash through to opponents. Like I said though, any deck with white should be running these cards, as there is no other effect in the game with this level of efficiency than these two cards. Some nice pairings for Swords and Path would have to be cards that have triggered abilities when casting an instant. Some example of this might be cards like Stormkiller Artist, as we essentially get our spent mana refunded with a treasure token, or Gutter Snipe, to get a little extra damage out to our opponents. Recursion tools also work quite well with these cards, as if we can get these cards recycled, we can get rid of even more threats. Some cards to think in this selection would have to be Snapcaster Mage, which gives the card Flashback, and Archaeomancer, which brings the card back to our hands. When we talk about premium creature removal in Magic the Gathering, Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exile should instantly come to mind for comparison. I really can't say enough about the efficiency of these two cards, as though they are a specific tool, they are some of the best in the entire game. However, with that being said, I want to thank you for watching this video. A lot has been going on lately, and I thought a nice addition to Eternal Staples is something I could get behind and release to the people. If this is something you enjoyed watching, I would recommend subscribing to keep up with the content that I am making. Anyways, thank you again, and I hope to see you in the next one.